Have you ever faced an impossible situation? One where the odds seemed stacked against you? What if I told you that sometimes victory doesn't come through strength or strategy, but through faith and obedience? In today's video, we'll uncover the astonishing story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho, a moment in history where God's miraculous plan turned an unthinkable challenge into an unforgettable triumph. This is more than just a tale of ancient warfare. It's a lesson about trusting God, even when His methods seem unconventional. Are you struggling with obstacles that feel insurmountable? Join us as we explore how Joshua's faith and God's power brought down the walls of Jericho. Let's dive in. Our story begins with Joshua stepping into the role of leader after the death of Moses. Joshua 1, verses 1-9. Imagine the weight of this responsibility, leading a nation of millions into the Promised Land, a task Moses himself didn't complete. But God's words to Joshua were clear: be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1 verse 9. Joshua's journey started with crossing the Jordan River, an event that mirrored Moses parting the Red Sea. As the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant stepped into the river, the waters stopped flowing, allowing the Israelites to cross on dry ground. Joshua 3 verses 14-17. This miraculous act reaffirmed God's presence with Joshua, preparing the people for what lay ahead. Jericho was the first city standing between the Israelites and the Promised Land. Known for its massive, fortified walls, Jericho seemed impossible to conquer with conventional methods. But God's plan was anything but conventional. God instructed Joshua to have the army march around the city once a day for 6 days, with 7 priests carrying trumpets made of ram's horns leading the way. On the 7th day, they were to march around the city 7 times, and at Joshua's command, the priests would blow their trumpets and the people would shout. This was the battle plan, a strategy that defied human logic. Joshua 6 verses 1-5. Imagine the Israelites walking in silence around the city day after day, while the people of Jericho likely mocked them from atop the walls. This required immense faith and discipline. Would you have trusted such an unusual plan? On the 7th day, the Israelites followed God's instructions exactly. After marching around the city 7 times, the priests blew their trumpets, and Joshua commanded the people to shout. At that moment, the walls of Jericho collapsed, and the Israelites charged in, capturing the city. Joshua 6 verses 15-20. This victory wasn't due to military might or clever tactics. It was a testament to God's power and the Israelites' obedience. Jericho's fall marked a turning point in the conquest of the Promised Land, proving that when God is with us, no obstacle is too great. Amid the chaos of Jericho's destruction, a powerful subplot unfolds: the story of Rahab. Rahab was a prostitute who lived in the city and had sheltered 2 Israelite spies sent by Joshua. In exchange, she asked for protection for her family when Jericho fell. The spies instructed her to tie a scarlet cord in her window as a sign, and her household was spared during the attack. Joshua 2 verses 1-21. Joshua 6 verses 22-25. Rahab's faith in the God of Israel saved her and her family, and her story didn't end there. She later became part of the lineage of Jesus Christ. Matthew 1 verse 5. Rahab's redemption reminds us that God's grace is available to everyone, regardless of their past. The Battle of Jericho teaches us profound lessons about faith and obedience. God's instructions to Joshua didn't make sense from a human perspective, but Joshua trusted God's plan completely. This trust led to victory. How often do we face situations where God's guidance seems counterintuitive? Maybe He's calling you to take a step of faith, or let go of control in an area of your life. Joshua's story challenges us to trust God, even when his ways are mysterious. Another lesson is the power of unity. The Israelites succeeded because they followed God's plan together. In our own lives, we're reminded of the importance of community and working in harmony toward a common goal. Jericho's story is rich in symbolism. The 7 priests and their trumpets, the 7 days of marching, and the final shout all point to the perfection and completion of God's plan. The walls of Jericho represent the barriers in our lives: fear, doubt, sin, or circumstances that seem unchangeable. Just as God brought down the walls of Jericho, He can bring down the walls that stand between us and His promises. After Jericho's fall, Joshua and the Israelites continued their conquest of the Promised Land. Each victory was a reminder of God's faithfulness, but the journey also had its challenges. The story of Jericho is part of a larger narrative of God's covenant with His people, showing that while the battles may be difficult, the ultimate victory is assured when we walk with Him. The story of Jericho is more than a tale of ancient warfare. It's a story of faith, obedience, and God's unfailing power. Joshua's leadership and the Israelites' trust in God remind us that no wall is too high, no obstacle too great for the God we serve. What walls are you facing in your life today? Are there areas where God is calling you to trust Him, even when His plan doesn't make sense? Take inspiration from Joshua's story and remember that with God, victory is always possible. Let me know in the comments if this video encouraged you. Also, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe for more biblical stories and insights. Let's continue to learn and grow in faith together. Until next time, trust God's plan and watch Him do the impossible in your life.